I'm Daniel McFarland. Over the next weekend, we're going to be seeing a cold front come into our area, and it will be maybe possibly some rain this weekend.
Yes, the rain possible this weekend, and we'll get to that later on in the show. But I think everybody is not really looking at what's going to affect us this week as so much as the sports this weekend.
That's right. FSU Clemson this weekend up in Clemson, and they might be cloudy, but the temperature will be nice and small chance of rain there, but probably not going to happen.
And those clouds are also affected by the cold front that is going to be pushing into our area. We'll be talking about that again later on in your locals. But I really think this is a cool story that we found earlier today in Canada, where the ski resorts are starting to open.
That's amazing. This early, it's October, and ski resorts are already opening up in Canada. That's crazy. They're opening up on the west coast and the east coast of Canada, not so much in the central, but it's still crazy to think that they are already getting skiing conditions in Canada at this time.
And a lot of that snowfall, both in the east and the west of Canada, is affected by a lot of the low pressure systems. First off, in the western seaboard that begin to start up and bring in the snowfall, and then it moves towards the center, and the reason they're dying out is all the snowfall kind of gets out of the way in the west before it reaches the east.
That's good. But for right now, we're going to send it out to the wall with Jack for the overview.
Yeah, guys, you're talking about that snow. I think we'll see some in Cheyenne, Wyoming. Later tonight, we have a cold front that's going to be pushing through the northwest, but another cold front in our immediate future is this cold front draping all the way from Ohio through Mississippi, coming through Memphis and Atlanta, bringing some rainstorms in their area. And I think those will start developing into the Panhandle, into tomorrow and Friday. But the time it reaches into Tallahassee, I think it will start fizzing out. We could have those spot-up showers, but nothing really too intense. You can see Tupelo and Montgomery getting into the rain action, but Tallahassee staying relatively quiet. We had some clouds in our eastern viewing area. But where can we expect for the next few days? We'll have that moisture start creeping in, so we'll have that humid air in the area. We'll have some cloudy weekends ahead, though. Even though it's not going to rain, that cold front will bring those clouds up there. Chance of rain in the area, just a spot-up shower. For tonight's forecast, we're calling for 63 degrees. Mild and comfortable. We'll have some patchy fog in the morning, so be wary of that in your morning commute. But we're going to send things back to Daniel and Zach.
Hey, thanks, Jack. It's been quite a strange week here at FSU Weather. A lot of our student meteorologists have been out of town, and you guys may have noticed that. But I think there's been some big news. They've been at a conference in Charleston, South Carolina, and some big news happened today.
Yes, the North Florida AMS received an award for Local Chapter of the Year, which is really exciting for us. And so they just received that award earlier today. We just got the news just a little bit ago.
It's a huge honor for a local chapter of the year to earn that honor. And a bit of a side note, Tallahassee is no stranger to winning awards.
Yes, we won a few over the past few years. I believe we won two over the past 5 years.
Yes.
So, yeah, hopefully expecting more in the future on
Hopefully expecting more. A lot of our members enjoying themselves there in Charleston, and hopefully they're going to continue to get that. But we're going to send it out to Ryan at the wall.
Thank you, gentlemen. And a cloudy start this morning, 66, kind of mild this morning here in Tallahassee. A few nights ago, we had temperatures in the upper 50s, and just not the case. A lot of low clouds this morning, really limiting how far the temperature could drop. But sun came out back up to 83 degrees, and those temperatures are going to stay in the mid to upper 80s as we head through the day on Thursday. In the meantime, 84 and 64 are the numbers that'll go into the books, right about average for this time of year in October. And a TLH right now coming in at 84 degrees still, so haven't cooled down all that much. Some scattered clouds, but mostly cleared up nice today. Sunshine really sticking around. Winds light and variable, and that's going to be another issue as we head into the overnight hours. Clouds will begin to develop. As the sun came out today, though, we had temperatures in the mid to upper 80s across the inland counties, so southern Georgia, northern parts of the Panhandle extending into the 80s, 84 in Tallahassee as well as in Bainbridge, 81 in Thomasville, a little bit cooler along the coast, 78 in Carabel where we've got that water cooling things off just a little bit. On the visible, we had clouds earlier in the day. We can see a few patchy clouds, some fair weather, nice white puffy cotton balls in the air, well clearing out as the sun came out and really heating things up as the clouds dissipated, so allowing temperatures to get up well into the 80s. On the horizon, though, we've got a cold front moving through the southeastern part of the United States. This is going to make its way towards the Tallahassee, Big Bend area of Florida. As it does so, it'll bring showers scattered and cloud cover with it, but not a whole lot of organized activity as this front really begins to fall apart as it makes its approach. Here we see that front moving through, plenty of moisture with this as it moves towards the Gulf Coast. Associated low pressure off towards the north. The main part of the energy with this is going to exit well off to our north, and this front is going to stall out, leaving us with plenty of moisture, but not a whole lot to go with it. So what can we expect? Well, cloud cover, a whole lot of scattered activity, but not organized washouts per se. Areas to the north of the front will see slightly cooler temperatures, but we're really not going to see an organized cool down and clearing with this, at least for the foreseeable future. 63 degrees is what we'll get into tonight, though patchy fog and lower clouds developing overnight, so another mild night as far as temperatures are concerned. If you're an early riser, we can anticipate those foggy conditions to develop with light winds. Back up tomorrow, we are going to clear out eventually by lunchtime. The sun should begin to come out, so 86 degrees there. Patchy fog around 8, 9 o'clock in the morning, so as you head out the door, it's a little cloudy, but winds out of the east. We're going to see a wind shift beginning to switch around out of the south, tap into some more of that moisture. 7-day forecast, we'll break it down for you. Temps are going to stay warm once the sun comes out tomorrow. 86 is what we can expect in the capital city. Temps in the low to mid 80s. The rain chances do creep up, though, as the front begins to make its approach for the weekends. Widely scattered activity, mainly going to be a cloudy issue there. Unfortunately, we can't kick it out of the forecast, but for more details on the forecast later, we'll tune in later. So back to the desk for now.
Thanks, Ryan. We're actually going to take us around the southeast right now. And the southeast forecast is basically the forecast for our local region at the moment. Here on their current conditions, we can see this temperature gradient indicating warmer temperatures to the east, cooler temperatures to the west, defining the boundary where the front is. We're looking at 84 in Tallahassee, but 63 degrees, a full 20 degrees lower in Little Rock right now. These dew points also speak to where the front is right now. The highest dew point on the map, 73 New Orleans, is aligned with where they're getting the most rainfall at the moment. Across the region, it is not quite uncomfortable, but you can tell that there is rain in the region. And here, our radar indicates very clearly where that front is. This band of rain moving through Louisiana and Mississippi into North Alabama at the moment is that cold front, and it's going to be bringing us some moisture later this week. As we zoom home in on the Big Bend region, well, we haven't had any rain today, and it doesn't look like we're going to have too much tomorrow. We've got clear skies on the radar, just a few clouds here and there. But over the end of the week, we should definitely be seeing some considerable more moisture. Here's our current water vapor map, and the most vapor is indicated along the frontal boundary there over the Arkansas region. Now let's take a look ahead at the next few days. Here's our cold front draped across the state of Mississippi. We're going to see that front slide eastward over to our region, and a low pressure center will develop over the Carolina region. And then as we move into Friday, we should see the first of our several days of moisture associated with this front. We're not looking for all-day washouts, just showers and storms across the region. Now, looking at tonight's forecast, tomorrow morning we'll wake up to about 63 degrees here in the capital city, and that's relatively comfortable for this time of year. Maybe a light jacket is necessary. And then tomorrow morning we're going to, or tomorrow afternoon I mean to say, we'll see a high of 88. It will be quite warm, but these temperatures should be going down in the wake of the front that we will see move into our region later this week. And now it's time to send it back to the desk with Daniel and Zach.
Thanks a lot, Shane. And remember us talking about the skiing conditions in Canada? Well, we're going to be looking at snow in our area coming down here pretty soon.
Yes, a new jet stream dip that's going to be occurring later this weekend into early next week. And it's possibly going to bring some light accumulations, nothing too big, but some light accumulations to the Dakotas and northern Michigan.
That's right. We're also going to see it over to Wisconsin and Minnesota also, but they're only seeing about 3 inches of snow at it, most likely sleet. So we'll keep an eye on that and keep you updated as time goes on.
And likewise, we were talking about that snowfall up in the north That's, like I said, associated with this jet stream dip. And if you think about it, October was quite warm for the Midwest at the start, record warmth. But by the end of October, we could be seeing some chillier conditions, possibly even record lows.
That's right, but from no more on the National, we're going to send it out to the wall with Chris.
Yeah, thanks guys. And we got quite a dynamic and very busy pattern across the country. You know, we are entering in the winter season. We're going to start seeing a lot of cold fronts come in from Canada and really lower those temperatures. And you can see that quite a bit across the mid-plains and out towards the west where another snowstorm is expected, but then warm as we head across the southeast and along the Gulf Coast. We're just entrenched in this warm, humid air for a little bit. Now, this is the 24-hour temperature change. As you can see quite where that front is. Look at San Antonio, Texas, 22 degrees colder than 24 hours ago. And this extends all the way across the Ohio and Mississippi valleys, and that's right where that front is right there. And it's going to be working its way to the south and the east. And behind it, though, we got quite a warm pattern going on across the northern plains, but then we got another system, as you can see, just entering into northern Montana. That's going to be a next system, cool things down, bring some snow, some mountain snow mixture, rain snow in the lower elevations, and another wintry mix across the northern tier of the country. Now, as far as the radar is concerned, you can see the clear skies across the west, dry from California, Phoenix, into New Mexico, and then we got our system across Texas and points eastward, and you can see that right there from Texas up through Kentucky. That's where the front is. Lots of rain, picking up 1 to 2 inches across Louisiana and Mississippi and up to Memphis and Tennessee. Kentucky, that's going to be pushing its way east, and it will be weakening as it makes its way towards Georgia and then across the Big Bend in our neck of the woods. Now, you know we are entering in the fall season. We got freeze watches and warnings and frost advisories posted for the parts of southern Colorado and western Kansas. So stay tuned for you folks there. Maybe protect your plants if you are finishing up the harvest season. Just cover those up if you want to extend a little bit longer. You know, the winter time is coming and we got frosts abounding. Now across the northern tier of the country, quiet. There's that next system that's going to be making its way through. You can see the snow just impacting the Canadian-Montana border, moving across to, the Atlantic coast actually. You can see the system moving off from DC and down. That's that front that's going to be making its way across the eastern seaboard. As we head out west, dry for now, as we got that next system coming its way from Canada down into the northern tier of the country, which will be impacting them with mountain snow and rain. So if you have any ski plans, you know, we do have ski resorts opening up. So quite an early start to the season. You know, I know South Dakota's seen 2 winter storms already, and you know, one's getting ready to come in. And there is our impact across that's going to be making its way towards Tallahassee and give us our next shot of rain into the weekend. But as for now, Daniel, come give us an info across the local weather into Tallahassee.
That's right. Well, you were talking about the cold front. Well, it's definitely heading our way, and we will be seeing some changes over the next few days. Right now, moving on into Florida, you can see how the cold front is heading our way. And then so we're going to see tonight across National, we're going to be seeing some average temperatures around our area and a lot cooler up to the northwest. And we will keep an eye on that and update you over the next few days. Looking at 58 in Seattle, 70 in San Francisco, 82 in Phoenix, 88 in Tallahassee, and 72 in Boston, killing it for the National. And here's our visible satellite for our area. As you can see, not a whole lot of information is coming to our right now. Clouds here and there, but no moisture or rain around our area now. So for current conditions, you can see 84 degrees, partly cloudy skies, low humidity of 46, and winds out of the north at 5 miles an hour. And for our current temperatures, like I was saying, we're sitting at 84. It's around 80 as on the coast, 84 in Bainbridge. And looking to the east of us, we see 81 in Perry and 84 in Valdosta. And looking at this radar, we can, like I was showing you, we can see this front headed our way. And this will be impacting us over the weekend as we will be seeing some rain. And you can see this animated right here with this. And so we can see this front that's going to be coming down as time goes on, and this low pressure is going to sit right over Georgia, and it's going to keep moving on, and then it's going to stall out, causing for some rainy conditions in our area, but not rain as you would think, spotty showers at best. And so looking at our water vapor, you can see all this moisture that's being pushed by the front coming our way, and on the far side, as this goes through, you can see dry air that will be coming in to our area. And for the beach forecast, we see winds at 5 to 10 miles an hour. We're not looking at much surf until about the end of the month, and the UV index is sitting low. And looking at boating, it's about the same story. Winds west 5 to 10 knots, waves light chop 1 to 2 feet. As you can see, sunrise and sunset are getting closer as we get closer to winter. And for tonight, we're going to have a low of 63 degrees, mild, comfortable. We're going to have some fog, and the wind will be dying down overnight. And for tomorrow, we're going to speed up the same, high of 86, wind still dying, and we're going to move on to our 7-day forecast. As you can see, those temperatures are going to be dipping down to the 70s over the next few days, and we're going to send it back to the desk.
Thanks, Daniel. Well, now it's time for everyone's favorite segment on the FSU Weather Show.
It's often imitated, never duplicated, the world-renowned This Day in Weather History. Right, Shane?
That's right. And today we're looking back 26 years to 1987, when 10 cities in the southeastern U.S. reported record low temperatures for the state, and a low of 34 degrees in Augusta, Georgia was the third straight morning of record lows.
So I guess you weren't getting out on the golf course on that day. Also, back in 2006, there was a tornado that went through Leeville, Louisiana, flipped 2 trailers, unfortunately, but it was a less populated area, so the tornado did not bring a lot of damage into Leeville that day.
Right, and again in 1987, a cold front brought showers and thunderstorms to parts of the central U.S., and it was reported that lightning struck a bull and 6 cows under a tree near Battiest, Oklahoma.
Well, that kind of reminds me of running with the bulls in Spain. I don't know what they would react to with a lightning bolt hitting them, but I'm sure they'd be pretty mad. But we're going to send things back out to the wall with Zach.
Hey, thanks, guys. I'm going to be taking you guys around Florida over the next few days. We've got that cold front pushing in. You've been hearing about it all show. It's to our west, but actually you can kind of see those cooler temperatures right up there on our banner, but those temperatures are going to be pushing our way over the next few days. 84, though, here in Tallahassee right now. On the East Coast, you see 83 there in Fort Myers. Sunny. 85 in Orlando. I'm excited because I'm going there this weekend. So looking forward to those conditions. But that cold front's going to be pushing in. That wind, I do want to point out, Jacksonville's got an easterly flow, 10 miles an hour. The winds are variable over most of the region, all coming from different ranges and regions. Fort Myers about 12 miles per hour from the northwest, and West Palm Beach at 6 from the east. But those dew points, the dew points we've been talking about all week are going to be on the increase, and you can see that right now, 61 in Tallahassee, a lot different from where it was on Monday when those dew points were in the 50s. 68 in Jacksonville, 65 in Pensacola. Turn around a little more to the south here in Key West, 68 and 69 in Miami. So around Florida, pretty much in the 60s, and those are going to continue for a little while. That's also in part due to all this water vapor, a little bit of those clouds coming in. Most of Florida is seeing these clouds, which is nice, keeping those temperatures a little cooler than where it has been. So a little more comfortable for our region here in Florida. We move to our satellite and radar. Nothing over the Panhandle region. A few onshore showers, that again coming from that easterly flow from Jacksonville coming on. But we're going to zoom in here on the Panhandle. Not much. I mean, you saw it on our big radar. Not much happening here. Just a few of those showers, again, popping up right there around the Jacksonville area. And we'll zoom on down towards the south. A few of those on-flow showers with Miami starting to dissipate. Again, a little down there, a little right here. Nothing severe coming off the water at all, which is a pretty nice thing for Florida residents to know. That beach forecast, though, check it. Winds at 5-10 miles per hour. Pretty nice day if you want to go out tomorrow, surf at 1 to 2 feet. The water feeling nice at around 79 degrees, but remember, put on that sunscreen with a UV index of 7. Same thing for the water. Winds west still, again, 5-10 knots. A small to light chop, but some of those clouds in the morning and a little bit of that fog. But if you want to get on the water, tomorrow is the day to do it. Tonight's forecast looking nice for the area. Up north, 60s. The farther south you go, some of those 70s. And tomorrow, pretty much warm for most of the state of Florida, mid to upper 80s. We're going to send it on over to our local, I believe, with Ryan, the tropics, excuse me, Ryan.
Let's hope this isn't the local forecast. Tropics, we don't want any hurricanes here, and it doesn't look like we're going to be seeing any anytime soon. Thank goodness for that. Hurricane climatology, well, October, yes, we still can see tropical activity in October as well as in November. The hurricane season does extend all the way until November 30th, and in past seasons, active seasons, we've even seen storms last into January. So don't let your guard down yet. But where do we look when we look for October tropical activity? Well, the Western Caribbean is certainly a hot spot. And anything that develops in the Western Caribbean typically moves towards the north, gets pulled and interacted with systems coming off the U.S. So the good news is that the systems coming off the U.S. tend to shield us. Where are we now? Well, we haven't gotten that far. Karen, we all remember how much of a dud that was, but not a whole lot of activity this season. Really aren't dealing with much, and the Atlantic shows you more of the same. The IR image on the satellite showing the National Hurricane Center was watching this area across Bermuda, but other than that, I mean, the Gulf of Mexico, Caribbean looking pretty quiet, and even the Western Pacific looking. We had a tropical storm out in the Western Pacific. Eastern Pacific, I'm sorry, we're in the Eastern Pacific. I can't even get my geography right. Tropical storm here now, not much of anything. Tropics, we're not looking active at all, so nothing to worry about there. Take it closer to home. We've got a huge dip in temperatures across the entire center part of the country. 53 degrees in Denver. Tomorrow we could be seeing snow showers in Denver and areas to the north. The southeast, the only warm spot sticking out like a sore thumb. 82 in Miami, 72 in Atlanta. Cooler. You can see where this boundary is right here. Cooler to the northwest, warmer to the southeast. And as that front slips towards the southeast, we're going to be seeing those cooler temperatures edge down towards the southeast as well. Huge plume of moisture extending well into the northern tier of the United States along this front. Heavy moisture across much of the southeast, and well, that's where we've got the rainfall, where all that moisture is, from New Orleans extending through Jackson. Nashville getting on a little bit of a wet commute, as well as Lexington, Kentucky, more scattered as you head towards the northeastern United States. Out west, we've got another little clipper system moving towards the south. That could bring snow showers to the Intermountain West, Cheyenne into Denver, and that'll exit off towards the upper plains. Tonight's forecast, well, we've got the cool temperatures behind that front. 31 degrees below freezing in Denver as well as in Billings. 36 in Salt Lake, 39 in Albuquerque. The eastern half of the country looking a little bit more on the mild side. 70 degrees in New Orleans, 63 in Tallahassee. Moderate cloud cover keeping these temperatures pretty mild. 63 in Atlanta, 55 in Boston. Tomorrow's forecast, well, we've got cooler again in the west where you would expect at 50 degrees in Denver, 43 in Billings, 70 and sunny in San Francisco. So looking nice on the west coast. In the southeast, 73 in Atlanta, 88 in Tallahassee. And with that, we will take you back to the desk.
Yeah, thanks, Ryan. Talking about the tropics earlier in your segment, going from Atlantic to the Western Pacific. We're going to start in Atlantic. Been a relatively quiet season. We've had 11 named storms so far, Shane,
yes,
and 2 of them have been hurricanes. Lowest ACE average in many years. ACE is pretty much the measure of tropical energy in the Atlantic. It's a good meteorology term. But switching things over to the Pacific Ocean.
Yes, in the Western Pacific, well, the Category 1 Typhoon Wifa just grazed Japan yesterday with 17 reported deaths. And unfortunately, things aren't over for them yet.
Yeah, there's still some missing folks out there in Japan, so always keep them in our prayers as we do for any natural disaster.
Yes, unfortunately, Tropical Storm Francisco is setting its eyes on Japan again as well. Forecast to be a Category 1 by tonight and may strengthen to a Category 4, but it should weaken to a Category 1 by the time it grazes Japan.
Yeah, well, that's always good. We always hope for those storms to start dropping down if they are making landfall. But I'm going to go out onto the desk, talk about our last local segment, taking a look into the national forecast. Look at those highs, 88 in Tallahassee, and we got 87 in Miami, but look, these temperatures will start dropping down as we start progressing into the week. Looking into our meteogram, though, you see that huge dip this morning, 66 degrees. We started off at 7 a.m. If we make our way towards the afternoon, we reached a high of 83 degrees. It's like riding a roller coaster, or if you had that Enron stock, what it pretty much did. Current visible satellite and radar, we had those fair weather clouds earlier today. You could tell by those white puffy stuff, but as the day progressed, that sun heated up, killed those clouds, and we had beautiful blue skies all across the region. We had more clouds to our eastern viewing area, so they struggled to get into the mid-80s, but for us here in Tallahassee, we got up to 86. Currently, though, at the airport, we're sitting at 84, partly cloudy skies still hovering above us. That dew point is at 61 degrees, so we're feeling pretty comfortable. I think our humidity will start increasing, so ladies, be ready for that. You might have some frizzy hair weekend ahead. Current temperatures across the board: 84 for us here in Tallahassee, 81 in Quincy, 80 degrees down in St. Marks. Let's make our way towards the eastern area, 81 as well in Monticello and 81 in Perry. So those temperatures are staying into the lower 80s, and they should drop down into the 60s as we make our way into tonight, and I think they'll start jumping up into those upper 80s later tomorrow and into Friday. Cold front, though, still dragging across the southeast, making their way into Tupelo, Alabama. But in Tallahassee, we're staying relatively quiet. I think that cold front will come into the panhandle, bring some storms in that area, but on Friday and Saturday in Tallahassee, we could have those pop-up storms, but nothing too serious. Our futurecast shows that. It shows this green area, which is mainly the measure of the moisture in the air. That cold front will start approaching us a little closer. It dies out around Friday into the central part of Florida along the Nature Coast. We could have those pop-up showers, but I think the big story will be a lot of cloud coverage and a lot of humid air, so it'll feel like summer all over again, so be ready for that. Beach forecast, though, for tomorrow should be a good day out there. Winds out of the west at 5 to 10 miles per hour. That water temperature just dropped before that 80 degrees, 79 degrees as well be sitting at. Boating forecast, same story for you folks. Winds will be west 5 to 10 knots. Waves will be 1 to 2 feet. Light chop clouds will be passing through. You see that sunrise is starting to decrease at 7:41. So we're starting to lose those daytime hours with a lot of sunshine. So we'll start dropping down in temperatures, maybe even into next week, but that we'll have to talk about later. Tonight's forecast, though, in the immediate future, 63 degrees is what we're calling for. It'll be a mild and comfortable night. We'll have that patchy fog starting to show up around 4 o'clock, so be wary of that. Tomorrow's forecast calling for a high of 86, and we'll have those fog lingering around later in today. 7-day forecast, though, you see those temperatures in the mid-80s for most of the week, and we have those rain chances start amping up as we get into the weekend. But Shane, winter outlook for the southeast, I think in Boston, New York City, cities like that, snow amounts won't be as high, but Philadelphia will see higher snow amounts.
Yeah, indeed they will. It's an interesting concept. We're looking at cities further to the south. We'll be seeing more snow.
Yes.
Now, of course, we won't be seeing snow quite so far south as here, but colder temperatures are definitely in order, aren't
Yeah,
they?
that's right. Actually, in the southeast and Tennessee Valley, we could see warmer than average winters. We could actually see some days flirting with high records. So be wary of that, and with those high temperatures mixing with those cool temperatures in the Great Plains, that's when we could get some chances of some severe weather.
Yes. Just a word to our viewers, don't forget that severe weather season does continue into the autumn months. But bringing things back home for this week, what are we looking at? Moisture, of course.
Moisture, of course, we have that cold front starting to push through Friday, Saturday. You see those rain chances start amping up. 40% chance on Saturday. But once we start our work week, we're working pretty nice, aren't we, Shane?
Yes.
Yeah, well, we like you guys, so make sure you like us on Facebook.com/FSU Weather. Always tweet us at FSU Weather. And you always watch us livestream.com at FSU Weather for the latest weather updates. Alongside Shane, I'm student meteorologist Jack Holland. We hope you guys have a terrific night, and make sure you tune in tomorrow.